speaking the truth is important, but saying it in love is most important. Criticism should always be given to help the other person, not harm them. In this chapter, Job's friend Bildad, a traditionalist, did not understand that. Not only did he offer lousy advice to his suffering companion, but he did it in the most unloving way possible. He reacts in anger to what he considers complete irreverence on Job's part. He takes hold of the general trend of Job's arguments and attempts to contradict the conclusions to which Job had come. And that brings us to our key verse for today, which reads, "Then answered Bildad the Shuhite, and said, How long will you speak these things, and how long shall thy words of thy mouth be like a strong wind?" Job chapter 8, verses 1 and 2. Bildad shows no compassion whatsoever for his friend. He simply ignores Job's pleas for understanding and sympathy. Bildad is a traditionalist, entirely wedded to the past, a moralist for whom everything is either black or white. For Bildad, everything is so utterly simple and straightforward. We get what we deserve. Bildad suggests those who prosper in this world do so because they are righteous, and those who suffer do so because they are wicked. The inadequacy of such a view is evident in the world today. There are evil people who do very well in this world. The same problem bothered David to no end as he wrote, "For I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked," in Psalm 73. Bildad cares more for doctrine and theology than he does for Job. He feels his theology threatened, but fails to see Job as the one actually in danger, his integrity, self-esteem, and personhood. The doctrine of retribution is so fundamental to Bildad's worldview that he has perceived the death of Job's sons and daughters as God's punishment. Nevertheless, Bildad will argue all hope is not lost for Job if he does two things. First, he must seek the face of God and call unto the Almighty, whereas Job had spoken of God seeking him. Bildad says it would be more fitting if Job would seek God. And second, he must be pure and upright. Bildad seems to be asking Job to show virtues that God already affirmed. Bildad contends for an unbending doctrine of retribution, which makes the sinner the victim of his or her guilt, which then chains God also and compels God to respond with favor to any human merit. We must learn a lesson from the utterance of Bildad that a rigid application of truth to the exclusion of any possible exceptions or broader analyses of the situation is a dangerous and cruel line to take. Bildad is a man who has got hold of half of the truth and has made it into the whole truth. It is always a mistake to do that and always damaging. Bildad appeals to ancient tradition to prove his assertion that God always acts justly. To say it has always been this way can often be a means of introducing sanity into an otherwise disoriented, confused jungle of ideas. However, it is important to see the past something to learn from, a rudder to guide us, and not an anchor to hold us back, a launching pad, and not a parking lot. Bildad's respect for the wisdom of the past is admirable, as is his conviction that God does not pervert justice. The way he allows the doctrine of retribution to fill the whole horizon, both of human wisdom and divine justice, though, makes him both unappealing and unconvincing. He insists on absolutizing the doctrine so much that he must be both unjust and unkind to Job. And so here's our lesson. While reading the book of Job, we immediately feel empathy for Job. When we see someone sick or hurting as Christians, we want to comfort them and help them, but we don't know always how or what to say or do. We can learn a lot from Job's three friends. They started out doing the right thing, the thing that is often needed the most. They spent 7 days with him, not saying a word in Job chapter 2, verses 11 and 13. This may be the greatest lesson we can learn. Often, this is what is needed most by those who are suffering. They just need a friend who will sit with them, mourn with them, comfort them. This week, let's look for a chance to just give love, consolation, and physical comfort, such as a warm meal, rather than unwelcomed advice, judgment,